All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the 329 April Fool's update in Marvel Future Fight. And as you can see right here, it is going to give us two new uniforms, one for Deadpool and one for Gwenpool. However, it is the worst case scenario. These are two new seasonal uniforms, which means we can look forward to more of these every single year. They're going to be limited time and they're not going to be discounted. The Deadpool uniform is going to see him rocking Gwenpool's outfit, which many of us are not really very fond of, to be honest with you. And then on top of that, it is going to be a 1750 crystal uniform, and it is never going to be discounted, as we've seen so far with the previous seasonal uniforms, the Summer Days uniform and the Winter Fun uniforms. So that, my friends, is not a good time. If you are a free-to-play player and you like to save crystals via the 40 or 50% discounts that we see every single month or every single year when it comes to those 50% discounts. Additionally, if you're a Gwenpool fan and you've been waiting for years to play with her, unfortunately you're not going to get the chance to play with her if you are free to play, because your only way of getting this uniform for Gwenpool is going to be if you spend money. So Gwenpool was initially a semi-paywall character, and a couple years ago she got a paywall uniform where you had to pay money to get tokens to get the uniform. And now that that uniform has been obsolete, or at least because she never had a tier 3, the uniform kind of lost its value, they're replacing it now with yet another paywall uniform. So I'm not too fond of this personally, but it is what it is. What am I going to do? Whine and complain about it? People already say I complain too much, so it is what it is. I'll bite my tongue on this one. You guys can let me know how you feel in the comment section. All right, we're going to go over the uniform for Deadpool and Gwenpool, and we're going to look at some of the events that are coming today and in the next couple of days as well. So let's jump into it. First and foremost, with Deadpool, on his new uniform, he's actually getting some significant changes that's going to make him better than the uniform that he had last time. So this time they're giving him another 10% increase to his HP. Previous uniform saw him rocking 20% HP increase. This time he's rocking 30%, and he's getting 10% additional chain hit damage as well, keeping the guaranteed dodge from the last uniform. So a decent upgrade here offensively and defensively. Chain hit damage is very, very nice, and then 10% more HP is very good as well. His leadership, head honcho, is actually changing because of the fact that now it applies to all allies, as opposed to before it only applied to himself. And previously, I believe it was only a 35% increase to his attack and stuff. This time it is actually a 40% attack, defense, and 15% speed. And if it's being applied to Gwenpool, well, Gwenpool is going to get an additional 60% extra damage to boss type, which is very, very good. As for his 4-star passive and his tier 2 passive, I'm not too sure why they even bothered listing these here, because they're the exact same as his previous uniform, the 30-year anniversary uniform. These passives are exactly the same. Moving on, the first skill and the second skill are virtually unchanged. The third skill, however, they decided to add 1.2% damage accumulation based on damage dealt, which is very, very good, because last time I believe he only had a damage proc and also a 50% defense buff on his third skill, if I do remember correctly. Moving on, his fourth skill, I believe it gives him 5% extra attack and 5% extra crit rate now. And by the way, they raised the cooldown time on his third skill from 12 seconds to 18 seconds. You can notice right here, all of his skills are basically 18-second cooldown time now, which is kind of lame. However, his last fifth skill, which was on the 30-year anniversary uniform, was 21 seconds. So at least they're cutting this thing by 3 seconds, if it counts for anything. Overall, though, they didn't really change much here on the fifth skill. I believe they gave him 50% more defense, and that's pretty much about it. It'll be interesting to see how this uniform flushes out in PvP, because I think that's what they're trying to push it for, but they did give him damage accumulation, so that's pretty good at least. Maybe he can do a World Boss Legend at a very high difficulty. Moving on, we have the uniform for Gwenpool, and as you can see right here, the uniform effect. I don't know why they didn't give this to Deadpool to begin with, but apparently they want you to use Gwenpool and Deadpool together, And when you do that, well, Gwenpool is going to be increasing Deadpool's damage by giving Deadpool 4% pierce. Interesting. They're trying to lock Deadpool's pierce damage behind a paywall. Wow. That's actually kind of scummy. I'm not even gonna lie. So basically, even though they're selling this uniform for $17.50, that's not enough. They're gonna lock Deadpool's pierce behind Gwenpool's uniform and say, hey, spend $15 or whatever so you can get extra damage for your Deadpool, because we're not gonna give him pierce even though he's a tier 2 native. Whatever, man. That's very, very lame. Anyways, moving on. If you pick up the uniform for Gwenpool, Deadpool's gonna do more damage because of the pierce, whatever. And she gets 25% chain hit damage, and then in addition to that, 4% pierce for herself. Make it make sense, whatever, man. Anyways, she has a 5% heal here. I believe it was 4% before on her previous uniform. Let me just double check in game right now. Yeah, this is exactly the same as it was before. Nothing has changed here. And then her tier 2 passive, Lady Mercenary, they basically just removed the cooldown times. So this is actually better than it was before. 100% chance to penetrate, super armor, damage, immunity, and invincibility. 52% increase the skill damage and bonus damage. First skill is just basic. Second skill is damage immunity for 2 seconds and a 9-second cooldown. She now has damage accumulation. It's 1%, and she has a 10-second cooldown. So a better damage accumulation than Deadpool in terms of, well, she can keep it up pretty much all the time, because this is a 5-second cooldown with an 8-second duration, versus with Deadpool's damage accumulation, well, it's longer, but it's on a longer cooldown. So there's going to be a 1-second gap, because with 18 seconds, that means this is a 9-second cooldown with an 8-second duration. Okay, so technically hers is a little bit better. Well, it depends on the rotation, really. Anyways, moving on, the fourth skill gives her 6% of her max HP back for 1 second, and that's a 9-second cooldown on that. We get 5 seconds of invincibility, and then we get 25% attack, 10% defense, and 1% all speed for 7 seconds on a 20-second cooldown. It's kind of yikes, but whatever. Let's take a look at her tier 3. Splendid Showtime. Just basically removes all debuffs, which is rare for a tier 3. Usually you see remove all debuff on like awakened skills, and then it gives her 30% attack and then 30% crit rate and a damage proc of 100%. Looking at the artifacts, Deadpool's artifacts seem to be geared heavily towards PvP, and Gwenpool just looks like, yeah, just basically more damage. We also have some game fixes here. So basically they're changing the wording on crit rate from regardless of crit rate to regardless of guaranteed crit rate. And then they're also going to be fixing some issues that's affecting Hawkeye's artifact being displayed incorrectly. Moving on, we have the April Fool's Celebration Pack, which is this thing right here, where if you spend some money on the game, you're going to be getting some playful tokens, which you can then use to buy stuff in the playful token shop. It's up to you if you want to actually support this update. I'm not really going to spend too much time here. This is what the shop looks like. So 30 tokens is basically going to get you the Gwenpool uniform. They're probably going to give you 10 tokens. That's usually what they do for these. And then you have to buy 20. Usually the best way to go about it is buying offer for agents. But I guess I'll look at this pack and see. Well, I guess you could buy, yeah, offer for agents. You just buy this 2 times. And then they're going to give you 10 tokens. Generally, that's what they do. They give you 10 tokens because they feel bad, and then you pick this up 2 times, and then you're able to get Gwenpool's uniform. But if you want to pick up other things from the shop, then obviously that's on you and how much you're willing to spend, right? I would say for most people, if you're gonna buy anything, I would say probably get the awakening crystals and stuff, because that's probably the most precious resource that we have these days, because of story mission making it so that you can farm for TCP and EOD like never before, right? Anyways, let's take a look at the shop right here. Besides the uniform for Gwenpool, I would say some of y'all should be going for the artifact if you're going to spend a lot of money. And if you're going to just whale out completely, then obviously you want to go for the premium card and then go for the artifact selector after that. Keep in mind that the artifact selector is not going to be updated. They're basically telling you right here that whatever you see in the artifact selector is what's going to be there permanently. So don't whale out on the assumption that the artifact selector is going to be updated. They're basically been locking it now because they don't want people buying the artifact selectors, keeping them in their inventory and using them on future characters. Obviously I think that's a BS move from their part. I think they should have left it the old way, but what can I really do about it? Complain? Again, like I said, some of y'all say I complain too much already. Moving on, we have an event full of tricks here with Deadpool and Gwenpool. First and foremost, all uniforms are going to be 40% off. That is all excluding seasonal uniforms. So don't expect to be able to buy Deadpool's uniform at a discounted price. Don't expect to see the seasonal summer uniforms back. They're not coming back until summertime. And don't expect to see the winter uniforms back either. They won't be back. Anyways, we also have a hero growth mission that's coming for Gwenpool and Deadpool. And then we have an energy bonus mission here. And then the check-in event is going to give you 10 playful tokens if you wait 7 days. So for any of you guys who just want to spend $20 or whatever to pick up 20 tokens and then wait 7 days to get the other 10 tokens, this is the cheapest way to get Gwenpool. Okay, moving on, we got rank 1 black antimatter and chaos Stones. And then the character ranking event for Gwenpool is going to have a crystal reward. So if you're a super whale and you want to stack Gwenpool with a bunch of Odins, then you're gonna get some crystals back. Moving on, Gwenpool's deception chest. Hold on 1 second. Is she a hero? Why is she deceiving people? I guess because this is scummy and they know it. Anyways, moving on. What is Gwenpool's deception chest? What is in here? Oh, it's just basically the regular chest with 5 and 6 star cards. I see why they say deception. Anyways, moving on. Anyways, unbelievable card pack. This is trash. Actually, just straight up trash. At least you get 50 tokens. So if you want to whale out and get a premium card, sure, you can do that, but I probably won't personally. Moving on, we have the unbelievable relay pack. I won't buy this personally. I would wait until the anniversary. There will be better deals. Moving on, we have the hero package, and yeah, these guys are delusional. They're selling Gwenpool for 2,500 crystals as if the character itself isn't already super expensive because of the fact that they're making all of her uniforms paywall. It is what it is, guys, gals. We're gonna wrap it up right here. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. I know a lot of you guys are upset. I'm not even gonna bother complaining about it. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. And it is what it is. This is the new Marvel Future Fight. Expect to see more seasonal uniforms. They're selling full price. So what are you going to do about it?